Greetings, Afterlifers, and welcome back to the podcast. And today we'll be talking about Silent Hill 3, released on May 23rd, 2003. Right. So, depending upon who you talk to, you're either you're gonna have somebody that likes this game, hates this game, or feels indifferent about this game. The first time I played it, the first attempt anyway, I hated it. I hated the first two levels. I hated the main antagonist. I hated the main antagonist, and I hated the protagonist. And I haven't even gotten past the subway level. And as soon as I got past the subway level, I was I just wasn't interested anymore. And I was like, yeah, no. So I put it down. I was like, okay, I'm gonna run this again. Let's do this again. We're gonna do this right. We're gonna give this game a fair shot. And I tried to question mark. I tried to give this game a fair shot. I simply, I don't know. I don't know if it's because I hated the level design. I don't know if it's because the game tried what was too like on the nose of like the importance of the main character right off the start, and it's just like a big turnoff. It's like, oh man, I want the little nuances and spoon feed me the story like Silent Hill 2 did, and the same thing with Silent Hill 1. The fact that we kind of take a step backwards in the pacing of the story here, to me anyways, I was like, yeah. And when anyone says, well, how could you have known this character was, you know, it doesn't take a genius, you know, the antagonist is the leader of the Silent Hill cult that was clearly in the first game, because there was no cult in the second game, you know, and it doesn't take that much of a genius to kind of put two and two together who this character is and the importance of this character. And then on top of that, you know, like, none of the side characters were except for like one character is like this detective who basically had a job to do. He was like the Jean Reno from The Professional type character, but he doesn't care. He has a job to do. He's gonna see it through, you know. And he was my favorite character. I believe on that playthrough, he actually survived. You know. And you know, yeah, and it's just, it's so hard for me to not talk shit about this game, because for some, I don't know what it is, but I honestly think that you have the bloated level design, a very bloaty level design where it's like, oh my god, there's so many locked doors, backtracking all over the place, and thank god there's a difficulty where you can turn off you can like set the puzzle and the combat to easy, because man, if this was on default, holy crap, I would be trashing this game. And then on top of that, you have a story that was just, yeah, let me figure. No, I have to tell you the importance. Like, shut up, game. Let me tell you. Let me figure it out on my own, rather than you know, hand waving right in front of me, like, hey, you know who this is? You know who this is? You know who this is? There's only 3 Silent Hill games. You know who this is? It's like, yeah, I know who this is. I know who this is, genius. There was only 3 Silent Hill games, and clearly the cult wasn't in the second game. They were in the first game. So no shit. Spoiler alert. Of course, this is a sequel to Silent Hill 1, and this is clearly this is clearly the daughter of Harry Mason, and it's just, man, it's like, what I love about Silent Hill 1 and 2 was the you don't know what the story is until you like piece it together, and you figure it out all on your own, and that's incredible. I love that. I love games like that where you collect story lore and tidbits all over the place, and some of it's in cutscenes, some of it you find on in the world, and I love that. That is amazing. But here in Silent Hill 3, they just hand waved it right in front of you like they owe you lunch money of like, hey, this is obvious because yeah, obvious is obvious. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the gameplay was Silent Hill. You know, it's you know, you have the radio, you have your indestructible melee weapon, you have your guns and ammo that stacks. Same thing with health stuff, and we'll talk about that in Silent Hill 4 because whoo man, yeah, Silent Hill 4 was a triple, right? But yeah, I mean, again, I'm indifferent. You know, I don't know what it is. Why I didn't enjoy Silent Hill 3 as much as I thought I was going to. Aside from the usual things I've said about it in the first and second game, the horror aesthetics, the creature design, it's yeah, it's great. It's awesome. Woo. Yay, great, awesome. 10 out of 10. Like I said, I just don't know what else to say, really, because no matter how many times you ask me, like, you could ask me 10 years from now, how do I feel about Silent Hill 3? I'm like, I don't know. I mean, it was okay in some parts and terrible in other parts. You know, it's just, what can I say? But yeah, that's all I have to say about Silent Hill 3. I'm indifferent about it. Not much to go on. If you enjoy this very short episode, I say short episode because we have a lot to talk about in Silent Hill 4. So be on the lookout for that episode, podcast episode, which will drop tomorrow. But if you enjoyed this podcast episode, then leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you enjoy the podcast on Spotify, then give it a like, and I'll catch you all next time. Bye bye.